Hey guys, this is Colin from Portland. I'm going to be joined in a minute by Michael Wiegand, our head analytics architect. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about closed loop analytics, which is a talk that Michael is actually going to be giving at SMX West in a couple of days here. I'll give you a quick taste of what he's going to be talking about and what it means for you as a digital marketer. The biggest deal that we're going to cover is integrating your web analytics platform with your CRM system, whether that's HubSpot, Eloqua, Marketo, doesn't matter. Biggest deal is that we're going to be taking everything that your sales team is telling you about, which are your best leads, which are your bad leads, and we're going to feed all of that info back to your web analytics platform so that, because it doesn't do it automatically, you start to get a picture of exactly which leads were the best, which paths took people through your site and your digital presence that turned them into those best leads, so that you can double down on the stuff that's actually driving great leads and not just throwing stuff over the fence and hoping it lands with your sales team. I hope you enjoy it. We may or may not be turning this into a webinar for Portland in the coming weeks and months, and you'll certainly see it on the blog. Thanks guys, and let us know if you have any questions.
Hey everybody, I'm Michael Wiegand, Analytics Architect at Portent. I'm joined here today by Colin Parker, Marketing Director at Portent. He's here to represent basically all the questions that a marketing director would have about this setup. Today we're going to talk about closed loop analytics, which is kind of a neat little buzzword in the industry, but we're going to walk through exactly what it entails, what you need to actually execute it, and then the benefits to actually getting your offline data married to your online data, essentially. So the first thing we're going to kind of talk through is you have a prospect, right? He may or may not have seen your brand, like he might have attended an event, something like that. He may or may not have interacted with you at all. Let's say he visits your website. Right? At that time, there's a cookie that sets a user ID on that person. It's associated with him forevermore every time he comes back to the browser. He hits your website and your analytics platform, in this case Google Analytics, let's say, gathers information about his traffic source. You know, did he find you on social media? Did he click one of your paid ads? Did he see a banner ad that you were doing? Did he come just organically to the site, right, after searching on something? Also figures out the content that they interact with, right? You know, how many pages they saw on their visit, how much time did they spend on those pages, did they bounce, right? And then just overall engagement on the website in general. Through the course of their visit, what's their average session duration, what's their exit rate, things like that. So you have all of this great analytics data on one side, but then let's say they fill out a form on your site, right? Because you've done all this work to educate them and now they're interested and they want to learn more about your business, your product or service. So they contact sales, they fill out the sales form on your site. That sales form has a bunch of different fields, right? It has, you know, name, company size, company name, potentially a marketing budget, right? You know, job title, sometimes you ask for. And all that rich customer descriptive data about who this person is goes into your CRM. Out of the box, these two systems don't play nice together. Even if you're firing both of the JavaScripts for the CRM and the analytics on your website, they don't naturally talk to each other. So that's where tag management comes in. Tag manager, its role is to take the user ID that's set when the person first visits your website and to pass that in with every page review to the analytics platform. And then also when the form fill occurs, to pass the user ID to the CRM. So that way, all of a sudden, you have a key by which you can export data from your CRM and import it back into Google Analytics, essentially marrying those two data sets. So that's how it works, basically, in theory. In practice, what kind of questions would you as a marketing director have about this setup?
I think the first question that I would ask is, why do I need to take data out of my CRM as more of them come with some out-of-the-box functionality? for looking at where somebody originally wrote in. HubSpot, for instance, gives you a sources report straight out of the box, canned report. I got this many contacts, subscribers, leads from organic, this many from paid, this many from social.
Yep.
So tell me about the difference between that level of visibility and what Google offers.
So Google Analytics has had basically a 10-year start on how to visualize a customer's journey through your website. So while the CRM has some great reports in that respect, it's not going to have the level of detail that your analytics platform does. Secondly, the analytics platform has a lot of tools that connect to, say, Google AdWords, right? So any data that you get back from the CRM into analytics can be used to programmatically buy retargeting ads, can build all sorts of audiences and segments in your analytics platform to help you better understand what not only this user looks like, but people like him, right? It can help you sort of build lookalike pools.
Talk to me a little bit more about lookalike pools and the ability to extend what Google knows about somebody versus what I've collected from them manually in my CRM.
Yeah, so that's a great point. Google Analytics has a series of demographic reports. And what happens is, as your user goes through different websites on the Google Content Network, on the Google Display Network, Google is gathering certain pieces of information about the different sort of sites that they're visiting, right? If they visit food websites, if they visit entertainment websites, it's picking up all of those random affinities that this person has in addition to their interest in you, right? So that way you can do really intensive sort of interest-based ad buying, related to not only what analytics is picking up, but also the information that they've basically confided in you, right? So you can marry those two sort of targeting aspects and come up with really a lot better display buys.
Interesting. So if I heard you right, there's a couple of things happening. I get to identify the folks that are my best leads, not just the folks who converted and that's all I know. And I pipe that data back from my CRM to Google Analytics. And not only do I get better visibility on what content paths worked for getting my best leads, I get to take those best leads and build other audiences to go and try and recruit new eyeballs to my website in the first place.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, that's pretty cool.
It's really cool. And another thing I would mention here is that the age-old question that I always get as a former paid search specialist was, yeah, you're driving all of these leads to my website, and that's great, but none of them are the super high quality leads that I want, right? This closed loop analytics package solves for that in the equation. Because as soon as you know what your buyer looks like, as soon as you know what a well-qualified lead looks like, you can reverse engineer their path to your brand, right? And start programmatically buying for more of those customers.
I heard the term marketing debt the other day, and I really like that. And the idea was, how much waste or bad leads effectively are you throwing over the fence to your sales team? So I think what you're saying is, if I just relied on this and I didn't reverse engineer which are the best things, I could continue to just push the same amount of marketing debt over the fence, have a fairly dissatisfied sales team, and never be any smarter about how I went and got these right folks.
Exactly. And so your cost per acquisition, which analytics can calculate out of the box, is great, but without context for how well qualified that user is, it kind of is a meaningless term, right? So much better is cost per qualified lead, cost per opportunity, cost per sale, right? And all three of those things you get out of marrying these two data sets.
Okay, well, obviously I'm sold, but I'm biased. Your show.
All right, so yeah, this is essentially how you connect the two pieces. If I were to sell you on this even further, I would also say analytics is plug and play with so many more systems than just CRM. It now, with the with sort of the data collection processes that it has, you can connect any systems to it. So if you have an email marketing platform, let's say, like a MailChimp, right? You can connect information about your emails, things like subject lines, right, in your email, things like different body copy in email campaigns, and connect that to analytics. So not only are you enriching just the website analytics that you're doing, but you're also enriching any other campaign data that you're hooking up to analytics, right? So it just becomes that much stronger to take all of that CRM data and port it back.
Absolutely. And you're giving a talk on this when, Michael?
Tuesday, this coming Tuesday at SMX in the afternoon sessions. Definitely recommend that you guys join. The exact times will be up on the website.
Very good. I hope we'll be able to get this maybe as a webinar for Portland in coming weeks and months as well.
You just might.
Very good.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.